Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. I do know that today is the 1st of April and everybody's bringing those clickbait fun type of videos, but no, this is an actual update of Vaal Blight, so sorry if I disappoint you in that case, but yeah, no time for jokes. This is, you know, Path of Exile is a business. We need to get these builds going. Okay, so first things first, yeah, map showcase. Tier 15 map, quality 220. Just gonna do anything with it. So the good thing is this build can run any kind of map mods, right? So whatever it is, like we're just gonna spam a little bit, maybe make this, and now it's unidentified. I have no idea what kind of mods these are, but I don't really care, because whatever it is, we can run it. We can run reflect maps, no region maps, temp chain maps, whatever map, right? So before we're gonna go into the explanation how everything is working, yeah, we're just gonna run this tier 15 map. All you gotta do is run over here, kill the first pack, and get your Vaal Blight going, and then you're just gonna run, and keep on spamming your Vaal Blight. We can stack up Vaal Blight up to 5 stacks, which is pretty insane. So that's why it actually looks so freaking cool, and so, yeah, satisfying to play, let's say. Yeah, let's see here. Memory, just run. Vaal Blight. We have Queen of the Forest. We run about, I think, like 50,000 evasion rating. So we have phasing, so we can just rush through every kind of mob. And yeah, just run and stuff will just tick down from the dot damage, which is pretty cool. I gotta rate this build probably one of my favorite builds so far, because it is fast. It has a good clear radius, and yeah, actually nothing else to add, you know. And it can get even better if you're gonna invest some currency into it. What I did not actually do, so if you are waiting now for these 20 Exalt to build or something, or even more, I can sadly not deliver that. But in the other hand, it's way better if we do it like that. Because in the end, when the builds are getting too expensive, people will say like, yeah, great, build looks fun, but you cannot afford it because you need, like, I don't know, like 20 exalts or something. So that's not the case in here. Okay, let's keep on running. Vaal Blight. All good, all perfect. As you see, I do know that I only have like 4.7k life, but the amount of evasion and dodge and the stuff we have makes the build actually pretty good. I probably even skip the boss over here, not because of... Oh, here it is. Because usually... Cool, tier 16. Usually I don't really find the boss in this area, and you will see that the boss damage is not the best. It can be way more. I do know, I don't even know what mods these are, but yeah, boss damage is definitely lacking. In the other hand, and the most, it's a pure boss, it's a pure mapper, right? So in most scenarios, you're gonna skip the bosses anyways, because Lava Lake and all those tier 15 bosses, they have like 100 phases, so probably the boss alone takes more time than the rest of the map, and yeah, usually I skip them at all, you know, because no reason to do them, to be honest. But if you stick some more into it, you can pretty sure get 2 or 3 times more damage than I have currently here on this showcase. But as you see, for every kind of map packs that you have over here, yeah, it's pretty fine, pretty fast. And we almost done with the map. I like to clear the maps in the showcase because I don't want to waste stuff, you know. As you saw before, we have like a tier 16 Elder map drop, so that's like 20 chaos. And on a tier 15 map, you basically should or want to clear everything. But yeah, I think now we're done here. Yeah, pretty much it. Let's go. Actually, let's run one delve to see, to show you guys how this is working. It also works super good in any kind of memory fragments or whatever. I usually don't run any kind of movement skills, but in this case, I have a 3-linked flame dash, just because of the memory nexus. You know, when the blue shit is going here. Let's say this is just the forgotten area, so if you run through, you're gonna start over, so you're just gonna flame dash over. And probably set it to always attack. You're just gonna flame dash over and keep running. So this is my current state of like 6k left. Oh yeah, I need to do the Abyssal City today. So, where are we gonna go here? Yeah, probably to this one here. There is one bug that I actually, yeah, want to mention on this soul fight. Sometimes it's the area with the spiders. Sometimes they respawn, but they don't give you souls, which is actually a little bit annoying because you're just gonna blight through. But the playstyle is pretty much the same, you know. The first pack, you're gonna load up your Vaal Blight, and then you just run and, yeah, spam your Vaal Blight and profit, basically. And this is the kind of build that I enjoy. I mean, it's not really a one-button build. In the end, it is, just because you press Vaal Blight and that's it. But you need to keep your flasks up, right? This is the most important thing. So let's see if these are the spiders or the weird things. It's the flying thing. So here it works just as planned, let's say it like that. We need a total of like 6 kills for casting Vaal, which is, yeah, pretty much always the case in here. So for delving, it's super relaxing. For mapping, for Nexus, for whatever you want to do with that one, it's actually super cool. And you can permanently spam those things, and yeah. One more here, one more there. Loot, loot, loot. So beautiful. And yeah, if something is alive and you don't have any stacks, then yeah, just blight them. Okay, let's return to the Shaper's hideout. And let's go over the gear quickly and probably just the most important things first. How does this work? How do you make it work? First of all, this and this. So, the Soul Catcher Flask has the effect, your Vaal skills used during effect have 40% reduced soul gain prevention. The prevention is that thing that you see over... Wait a second. How we can make this even better? Because that's actually not the true number. If we just gonna use Blight over here, that's the true number. So, we have like soul gain prevention. And wait a second. We need the real numbers. This one gone. I think this should be it, so probably. So anyway, so soul gain prevention is 7.2 seconds. A soul gain prevention means as soon as you use the Vaal skill, you cannot gain any souls in that amount of time. Okay, so that's 7.2 seconds. So what we need to do, there's 2 things we want to do. First of all, get the soul gain prevention as small as possible, and the souls you need for the skill, we're gonna reduce that as well. So here it is, just Vaal Blight, it's just 7.2 seconds, 30 souls per use, right? So, we have this flask here. The flask says Vaal skills used during effect have 40% reduced soul gain prevention, right? So, if you wanna buy those, the only thing you need to worry about is this one over here. This should be 40 or as close to 40 as you can get. Probably here like 40, 50 chaos. I mean, the 100, that's not true. I bought mine for 50 as well, so it's not a big deal. If you buy like 39, I don't think it's like too much of a difference here. 1 alchemy, great. Okay, probably I even misclicked. Let me try that again. 39. Maybe my fat fingers just took another number. Okay, 4 chaos, 7 chaos, so not really expensive, right? So what that does, as you see now, 7.2 seconds. If I activate the flask now, we are on 2.56 seconds. Means like after 2.5 seconds, I can get souls for the next Vaal skill, right? Okay, so how do I get this number? How do I can stack more of those? I think this is... Let me explain that one a little bit later. So we have the 7.2 seconds, as I said, with the Soul Catcher. It turns down to basically 2.56. Actually, I need to undo this ring here, so... Wait a second. 8 seconds. Okay, this is the real number, because my ring has already 10% reduced skill effect duration. So as you see, the reduced skill effect duration also affects not even the cast itself, the debuff, but it also makes the soul gain prevention, you know, smaller, tinier, whatever you call it, whatever, okay? So so that means we are not allowed to use increased skill effect duration, what you usually would do on any kind of dot build. No, we have to do reduced skill effect duration to get the soul gain prevention as low as possible. And here I have, for example, on my 6th link, Control Destruction, Increased Area of Effect, and the Void Manipulation. So those 3 are actually our quality of life gems, I would say, and also damage gems. And the other 2, which is less duration, which is a lot of less skill effect duration and reduced skill effect duration, the same as the time twist ring here, and the swift affliction, which has also reduced duration of supported skills, you see that we actually, just by getting those 3 link, we are now at 2.6 seconds. With the flask up, we are now at 0.28 seconds. That means my cast time is 0.44 and the soul gain prevention is 0.28 it was, right? That means as soon as the animation stops from the Vaal Blight, I can actually get souls for the next Vaal skill. And this is the important thing. So my Vaal skill actually will give me back the souls that I need for the next one. And we can make this even better if, since we are Pathfinder, we are taking all those flask effect that you have on the tree, right? You have like 4 times here flask effect. Here we have the flask effect, blah, blah, blah. Here we also have a thing somewhere, the flask effect. Here we have chaos damage, chaos area of effect. But I want to go over to that one later on. So if you're going to go for the skill and see flask effect, we have that cluster over here where we have duration, flask effect duration, and so on. And on the top side, we have that somewhere as well. Here over here, the alchemist, increased flask effect duration, and most importantly, the effect of flasks on you. That means if we take the Quicksilver flask, for example, we have increased movement speed 30%. Since we are having more effect of the flask as well as this gem here, 8% increased effect of flask on you, we're having more than 30% movement speed. The same counts for the soul gain prevention, right? So as the more we have on this flask effect and the less duration and so on, the smaller the soul gain prevention will be in total, right? So we are in total of 0.16. So without the gem, we were on, wait a second, still the old flask ticking. They last forever. They last forever. Okay, now it's gone. So we are on 0.28 now. So if we get this one in, we are on 0.16. Okay, so as you see, the more effect, the better. And this is the way how we can actually gain souls after casting a Vaal skill or casting anything. The next thing is the reduced cost of Vaal skills that I have on my staff over here. That makes that the souls are, at least you don't need 30 souls for the Vaal skill, you actually need way less. And with all the other increased effect of that thing, and the reduced cost and so on, we're actually getting to 6 souls in total for a Vaal skill. So if we're gonna check this one again, let's go over here, maybe where it is, the Blood Aqueduct. So you can see how many actually need. And there is one thing, the flask also helps with that one. Wait a second. Reduced soul cost during effect. Okay, that's the next thing. So basically, what you're gonna see now, we're just gonna kill a couple of mobs so that we are not like this pack here. You see, we have now 8 souls. As soon as I activate my flask, I can now actually, although I have 8 souls, I can now activate my Vaal Blight. Why is that? Because of the reduced cost of Vaal skills on my staff and the flask and the effect duration, blah, blah, blah. We get this down to 6 souls for 1 Vaal skill activation. So now we are at 10, means we are now having 1 stack here, and 2 more kills would be another one. So that's why I can actually stack up 5 Vaal Blight at once, as soon as I have my flask up. So, since we're Pathfinder, we are having flasks up all the time, or at least they hold for like, I don't know, like a couple of seconds actually. Wait a second. If we say this one, Soul Catcher, has like 5 seconds duration, if we use that, you see we are almost 8 seconds actually. So we actually almost double that duration of the flask. So since we are Pathfinder as well, once we kill stuff, we gain like shitloads of flask stacks back. So as soon as you kill the first mobs, you can permanently get your flasks up. So you get all the Soul Catcher thing, the Jade Flask for the Queen of the Forest. We have more effect of the Stibnite Flask and so on. So that's pretty cool actually. Okay, this is how it's working. So what you need is the reduced cost of Vaal skills and also the flask. So you can get this one with the Bloodstained Fossil. So that's the name of that thing, Bloodstained Fossil. They go for about 200 chaos, I think. Yeah, 240, so that's expensive, right? But it actually gives you this 40% or 20% on a one-hand weapon. So if you're dual wielding, you're gonna get this twice. And on a two-hand weapon, you're just gonna spend this Bloodstained Fossil once and you will get the 40%. If we're gonna get over here, Coast of Vaal skills. So you're gonna see there's only two mods basically. For one-handers it's 20% and for the two-handers it is 40%. So as you see, 2x, starting price 2x, but that's not because the weapon is so good, it's just because of this Bloodstained Fossil, which is actually pretty expensive. Good, so let's talk about the rest of the gear. So let's talk about the gloves, because this is one important thing that I changed up in my setup compared to the other video. We're using here a 5-link Blight. Now you will say like, wait a second, you're using a 6-link Blight, what do you need a 5-link Blight now? So since we only have 3 support gems that are actually affecting our damage in big numbers, yeah, I know less duration gives you some more damage as well, but in the end it's going to be less than other support gems. We are not gonna get a lot of increased area effect, because for our usual Blight we don't need that, right? So basically you can say Blight with Control Destruction and Void Manipulation is basically a 3-link Blight, right? And with these gloves, we have a 5-link Blight with the usual Void Manipulation, Swift Affliction, Efficiency, and Control Destruction support. So that's a lot more damage, right? So if we compare this one, we're gonna see here on our usual Blight, that's the 6-linked regular Blight. If we're gonna cast this one, it has like 6.7k chaos damage per layer, right? With a debuff from 0.8 seconds. As you know, Blight, the longer you cast Blight, the more debuffs he gets, the more damage he gets. So actually having that less duration everywhere is actually bad for your skill. Compared to the 5-link now, we have here like 10,000 damage and the debuff lasts for 2.8 seconds. So the 5-link, just the Blight one, does way more than our 6-link Blight here. So that's why I actually use the 6-linked Vaal Blight, but to get our stacks, I'm just using the 5-link Blight, because this is a Blight level 22 with 4 normal support gems, right? And on this one I have 2120 gems, on this one I have 2020 gems, right? So basically what that means, I can get even more damage out of that one. And that basically single-handedly made it possible to kill map bosses in that case. I mean, usually if you have enough damage, you're just gonna stack up 5 times, you go to the boss, press your Vaal Blight 5 times, you probably get another stack, because now it's the soul gains is a little bit different. Before the changes you had to kill something to get a soul. Now it's based on the damage you do on a certain amount of time or something to get souls back. So at some points you don't even need to kill something to gain maybe a stack on a boss or something, right? So usually you're just gonna get 5 Vaal Blight and it's normally enough damage. If not, then we still have our other Blight that will take care of the boss, and if you want to, if you need to, right? Check. Rest of the gear. Staff. As I said, the 40% reduced soul cost, or the 20 if you're dual wielding. So this one is actually super, super bad. Fire gems, socket fire gems, fire damage, mana. I don't need anything of that. I don't need the 6-link. I have here my 3-linked Flame Dash in here as a placeholder, whatever, for a possible dual wielding weapon. But it still works. So if you get something like that I have here for sale somewhere, where is it? 4x, 5x, 7, whatever. Here it is. So this is a fractured or a changed item. This is an implicit mod of Chaos Damage Multiplier. So that will give you the most damage in terms of any chaos skill. It's not spell damage, it's not any kind of that. It is the non-ailment chaos damage over time multiplier. This is a shitload of damage. So what you can do is you can get one of these here, but they are pretty expensive. If you're just looking for the 12 to non-ailment as an implicit, they go for about, I would say, like 100 chaos to 1 axe for the base, and then you need to start crafting with the Bloodstained Fossils, right? But in the end, if you're able to get this Bloodstained Fossil on that and then annul it off and just take, or just multi-mod and get the crafted non-ailment chaos damage, you can get up to like 50 or something per piece. So you're wearing 2 of those. Means you get like 100% chaos damage over time multiplier compared to this poor 26% spell damage that I have on this Eclipse Staff, right? So I got this pretty cheap, that's why I bought it like a couple of days ago, and I would love to sell it, but I cannot really, because as soon as I get this for sale, I cannot play with the build, because this is a mandatory thing, the Soul Coast Vaal thing, prevention, whatever, okay? So the rest, Mana Coast of Skills. So this is the reason why I can run no regen maps. Blight normally we take this one away and deactivate our Clarity here. We see the mana cost of Blight is 12 over here, and the other one is, I think, like 16. So on this one, we need 12 mana to cast Blight. So I solved this with this ring and the combination with the Watcher's Eye here. But you can get a double ring. Wait a second. You can get this one and probably craft another mana cost of skills, because this one is Xopex. That's a temple modifier basically. So you can cast, you can craft another total mana cost. So you don't need the Watcher's Eye in that case. So I don't have that one. So here is the ring with 8 mana cost, and the Watcher's Eye will give me minus 10 mana cost of skills. So that means the Watcher's Eye is now active when I activate Clarity. Means that my Blight only costs 2 mana now. And with the ring, it's now 0 mana cost, as you see over here. So if I have mana or not, no regen, no whatever, I can reserve 100% mana. Blight is free, Vial costs are free. Perfect. Solved. Check. So next thing to talk about. I currently run Clarity because of the Watcher's Eye over here with the reduced mana cost and also the movement speed while Grace. That's nice to have if you can afford it. If not, no problem. You're just gonna miss like a 50 movement speed. Not too bad. And here I have Clarity, Enlighten support, Grace and Haste. So Grace and Haste are both 50% multipliers. So I can reserve both and have 0% mana. I could use the Clarity with a Blood Magic to reserve, I think, like 66 life or something. Which I could do, but with an Enlighten level 3, I think level 2 should also work. And Clarity, I can now reserve Clarity, and I still have 72 mana left. So I think that the Enlighten level 2 should actually work on that scenario. Okay, here I have just a Teary Step, not mandatory at all. What you want to have on the ring, amulet, the helmet, the boots and the belt is basically just life and resistance. That's it, you know. So if you want to go min-max, you can take rings with like increased chaos damage or something like that, you know, but it's not really necessary. I don't have any struggles on tier 16 maps. I'm currently level 92. So dying is not really a problem. Although I don't have really a lot of HP, but just with the Queen of the Forest, we currently run with Flasks active 49,000 evasion rating. That means we get the full 75% movement speed of the Queen. Actually, it's 50% because this one gives you minus 25. Fine. Still, I get the full functionality out of the Queen of the Forest. And with all the other stuff, we have a shitload of dodge and spell dodge with this one. We are also running the face acrobatics, which gives us chance to dodge spell hits. So we barely get hit at all, you know. I tried to make a different version of that one. I think I have the Cloak of Defiance somewhere. Here it is. That gives you Mind Over Matter. So a lot of builds going hybrid nowadays, right? That means you, in one hand, you get Mind Over Matter, and you get the Eldritch Battery, so your mana costs go from Energy Shield, and the Mind Over Matter also gains from Energy Shield, blah blah blah. I don't want to get too deep into that one, but in the end, after respecking and everything, I had like 5k life and like, I think like 1,500 Energy Shield, which looked better on paper, right? But everything that touches you will hit you. Not like with the Queen of the Forest and the evasion rating and so on. Nothing ever hits me, or at least very rarely something hits me at all. So I don't really need an effective HP pool of like 6,000-7,000. On the other hand, with the Eldritch Battery and the Mind Over Matter, everything hits you, and I died like 5 times in one map because whatever touches you, you're dead, you know. That's just stupid. So I remove that one. I go back Queen of the Forest, more movement speed, more quality of life. You survive, no problem at all, easy cheesy. Okay, what else do we have? We talked about that one, the setup over here. As I said, Blight, increased area of effect, control destruction, void manipulation, less duration, and swift affliction to make the soul gain prevention lower. On the helm, I have a cast when damage taking and Immortal Call. And I don't really know what else I should put into the setup, because I have my movement skill, I have my auras, I have my cast when damage taken. I would get, if I go dual wield now, a second 3-link over here, maybe some golems on the cast when damage taken, anything you would like to have. I don't really think it's necessary at all. Okay, for the flasks, I have a life flask because we are life based, so whatever hits us with the increased effect and so on, we're gonna leech or at least get a lot of life back with bleed immunity. I used to run the Impresence with Blasphemy Despair, if you can remember in the old version. But what for, to be honest? Because we get, with the Witchfire Brew, we get at level 21 Despair Curse Aura, and we get more damage over time. So, being a Pathfinder, we have this flask up 24/7. So that lasts for like 9 seconds, you know? And in 9 seconds, you're gonna press your flasks again because of the Soul Catcher, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. So this is up 24/7. So why spending 2 Exalts for an Impresence for a good one and Blasphemy Despair for whatever reason? We have Witchfire Brew anyways, you know? So we're gonna cut this one here and spend the gear or something, like get a better amulet or whatever you can do. Maybe you can actually get a Yoke of Suffering maybe, and get free temp chains. That would be an option. But then you would need to spec into the Whisper of Doom so you can apply additional curse, because then you have Despair and temp chains. If you don't want to do that, like I just didn't give a fuck, to be honest, I just use it without. Alright, that's good. So, Witchfire Brew, then we have a Jade Flask. This is very, very much needed because of the 3000 flat evasion. So, let's check our evasion without that is 29,000, right? With this one, we get up to 49,000. So, the 3000 evasion rating gets actually up to 20,000 evasion rating in total. Caps our Queen, perfect. Freeze immunity, because we are not using the other 2 Pathfinder nodes over here that would make us immune to ailments, and here immune to bleeding. We're not using those 2. That's why I have a Bleed Flask and a Freeze Flask. Soul Catcher, as said before, and just a regular Quicksilver Flask for more movement speed. Ease Clap. Check. So, let's talk about the skill tree. Path of Building link, as always, in the description below. What did I change? As you remember, I didn't have this cluster here. I just went over here to the Retribution, and then take here more Area of Effect and Light of Divinity and so on. But I thought it's better since I was starved in Resistance anyways. I started to move over here. Here we have our Watcher's Eye Jewel, as I said, with Grace and Clarity, if you want to. Then we have here all resistance, the big Scion life wheel, since we're life based, and now we take here another some more life reach and take the jewel slot, and I run double Might of the Meek. This is something you usually would do on a Scion, for example, but it works out pretty well here. I have here all the life nodes. I have my triple resistance with 36, which is pretty fine. So this is a layer of defense. If you don't want to do that, you can skip it, not a big deal, but I just think compared to the other skill tree, this just is a better solution here. For the rest, Face Acrobatics here, life and evasion rating, damage, life, area of effect, damage, life, damage, jewel slot, Alchemist for the flask effect duration, area of effect, life, the usual things, you know. I run double Spreading Rod because we are a Blight build, so we're gonna use those double Blight jewels since we can use 2 of them. So we have like Wither Infliction when we cast Blight, and also Hinder Duration is longer, some Chaos damage. If you have Implicits like I run double 5%, I would like to remove those and get, I don't know, like immune to silence or you cannot be cursed with silence or something like that. Maybe area of effect, whatever. If you cannot afford those, just go with the regular ones. Not a big deal. You're just gonna make sure that you have those 40 intelligence in radius. And you can check that if you mouse over that one, you see now, if you're just gonna barely hit the corner, you see what is active. So, for example, if I move this one now to this range over here, which has not 40 intelligence in radius, you see we're just gonna get increased damage and the chaos damage. So the other things with the Blight thing, we're not gonna get this one. So if you barely cross the corner, you see that jewel socket. And if you're gonna move this one over now with more than 40 intelligence in radius, you're gonna see that now we have the Blight option. So here is a cluster, here is a cluster. Here we can take whatever you want, like either Conqueror's Potency because of the flask effect duration and flask effect. And here the Watcher's Eye. Yeah, pretty generic actually, double Might of the Meek. Yeah, pretty cool. Anything else to add over here for the Pantheon, or at least for the Ascendancy? We have here the Veteran Boya for more flask charges gained, you know. Then we have Flask Effect. The small ones over here, they are very important. You could actually skip the Veteran Boya and go for Master Alchemist, so you're immune to freeze and so on while you have a Flask Cup, basically always. Or you can take the Master Surgeon, so we are bleed immunity. Not really too necessary. Nice is the Nature's Boon and the Nature's Adrenaline and also the Nature's Reprisal, because this one gives you increased chaos damage, chaos killer, 50% increased area of effect. That's basically another level 21 increased area of effect, so that's why the circle is actually so big. And yeah, that's about it. Path of Building in the description below, and let's go over to the Pantheons. What do I have here? I forgot. Shakari. I haven't even upgraded this one, this character. There we see how important these Pantheons are. At the moment I have Lunaris for the movement speed and Shakari for reduced chaos damage. Whatever you want to take. I still need to upgrade these ones. I always forget, like every day when I wake up and I'm like, hey, today I'm gonna farm. I need to upgrade my Pantheons, but I always forget because they are just not that good or not that necessary, you know. It's not like, hey, I really need that one to make this character going. Forget about this one. So, bandit choice. I used to use the 2 skill points, but not anymore, because resistance. I took Alira now because of the 15 all resistance you get. With this cluster over here, I barely need any kind of resistance on the gear to actually make my resistance balance. So here we have a pretty cheap one, like a little bit fire code, lightning resistance. Here is no resistance. Here we have some 14 all res, crafted res, no res, no res, no res. Here's a little bit on the Queen of the Forest. So with this one, with the Might of the Meeks over here and the Alira bandits, yeah, it's pretty easy to get your resistance up to 75, and that's about it. If I would be able to get better gear at some point of the league, who knows when that will be, and I have more resistance on my gear, I would skip the Alira again and go back to the 2 skill points. Alright, let's talk about the cosmetics. We are full Celestial now. Perfect. Since they released the Celestial wings, they are pretty cool. So Celestial hood, body armor, wings, staff, character effect, gloves, boots, character effect, footprints, everything Celestial. Besides the Holy Eyes and the Demon King portal effect. Kitava Portrait Frame, then we have the Dragon Flame Dash over here, the Dark Immortal Call, Soul Nexus Aura, the Force Field Aura effect, and the new Celestial Aura effect that, yeah, makes that really cool looking space circle, whatever I call it. Alright, I think this build is fine. I can definitely recommend that. It's a lot of fun to play. It's fast, you know, it's Pathfinder, it's Queen of the Forest, it is fast. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm going to stick with the Vaal skills for now. So, means, there's a lot of Vaal skills that I would like to try. Vaal Fireball, Vaal Spark, Vaal, how's it called? Vaal Righteous Fire would be an option. Vaal Earthquake, Vaal, what's it called? The next one that I wanted to play. Holy shit. Stormcall. Vaal Stormcall, yeah. And a lot of other Vaal skills that I just need to try out in comparison to that one. Because this one just was really cool to play, a lot of fun, and yeah. I think I'm just gonna replace this gear now. Not actually a lot, to be honest. But I'm gonna see about that one. Probably just skip that one. Queen will probably stay the same because I really like the speed builds, but yeah. The staff probably gonna stay the same as on this build just because of the Vaal skill, and yeah. That's about it. I'm out for now. I'm going to stream now and gonna see how this Vaal Stormcall works out. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.